So Les and Vanessa, I have this paper. You guys have tablets in front of you. And David brought it up. Is everybody who's out in the field for you, do they have tablets also? Are they using the latest Apple products? What are you outfitting your people with?
Not Apple. Obviously, our smartphones are a personal decision. We find most of the people are choosing Apple, but we're actually standardizing on a tablet format for our outside sales. And it's basically based upon their requirement. So we have three products that we can choose. One of them is a Surface, the other is a Lenovo, and we're guiding people into a very simple set of applications and functions that they can use. Rather than having a computer, we see this as a replacement for the old sample case. It's a sales toolbox. We want to make sure that everybody has the same toolbox, knows how to use the tools in the toolbox, and that we can support them very easily. We find that, one, we're driving down the costs. Obviously, laptops are much more expensive than tablets. And secondly, we're allowing them to use it as a presentation tool much more than they could their old laptop.
And Vanessa, what are you outfitting your employees with in technology?
Outside sales all have laptops. I believe they're HPs, but they also have an iPad and an iPhone. And the delivery team, they don't have, they still paper and pen for a signature.
Okay. So these folks know when you're talking about rolling out an app and introducing it to your customers, which is end user, what's most important, what's worked for you guys in terms of the introduction of, hey, we have an app, now we want you to see it. How were you able to introduce it? And again, what's most important for these guys, what worked? Go ahead, Les.
We don't start with IT, we start with marketing. And marketing is we found that over the last 2 years, marketing is an adjunct part of the IT group or vice versa. So we make sure that the messaging is there. We're very repetitive about it. We use onserts on our digital invoices and our printed invoices, so we have a message about what we have available. We have email conversations. We have mailers that go out, but it's all directed by marketing with influence from IT.
David?
More of the same. Again, probably the worst thing you do is have somebody in your IT department who just wrote an app be the guy who has to go out and then advertise the app, because they're not going to be the right guy for that messaging. At the same time, having somebody in marketing do a pure marketing rollout, hey, we've got an app that does X, Y, and Z, without understanding exactly how that works. So obviously you have to work together on that, but really the messaging needs to come from marketing.
Okay. So we've spent 55 minutes talking about a lot of external technology things and only a very few internal things, billing, warehousing, things like that I think still has some value to a lot of people that are here. In the next 5 minutes, what internal technology things have you done that have really streamlined the process? Go ahead, David.
We back in January 2007 went live on SAP. That was our big ERP rollout 8-9 years ago now, I guess. I'll lose track. And that completely transformed our back office. Our legacy systems were not particularly well integrated, and there was a lot of manual processes. SAP is exactly the opposite. It's a very big, complex system, but it's extremely well integrated. When I hit save on an order, a delivery prints in a warehouse, when a customer signs that on a mobile delivery app, it's in the GL, it's billed. That creates some pretty significant process change issues, and it was a very painful process for us going from our legacy systems, because we were used to being able to kind of, make the paper look good, and we'll sort it out tonight in the manual load. SAP doesn't like doing that. You have to really follow the steps. But it's really the things that we take for granted now in our system were things that we couldn't do in our legacy system. Les mentioned the analytics. There are things that we get to take for granted in a data-centric system like SAP. Our business warehousing model. If somebody says, David, I need to look at sales by manufacturer, by region, by customer, by sales guy for the second quarter of last year in descending rank by customer size. That might take me 30 seconds to run. Again, it's just something we take for granted now. And I'll get people complaining that it took 30 seconds to run. So, we've set kind of a mean benchmark for my department. But the things that we take for granted now are just a much higher level for us.
Les, what about you? What internally has worked to streamline the process?
Well, I think the warehouse using automated guns has made a big difference. We're able to identify 9 stages of an order, and those stages are recorded inside the system. proof of delivery on the trucks that go out. Again, with the ability to update the ERP system directly. We think that the laptops are something that are a big deal, or I should say the tablets are a big deal because we're standardizing. It's part of our sales training. And I guess the biggest thing that we're looking to be able to do is through collaboration. Actually, it's a project that we have right now, using a tool to make sure that all the processes that we have within the company have the ability to be reviewed and if appropriate, selected for automation. And to do that, basically, everybody who's a party, everybody who's a stakeholder to a process has a view into what happens. And so if I could take, for example, somebody buying a PC, first off, you have to have that approval go through, the need arise, and you have to have an approval go through. And then generally what we do is we have whoever the supervisor is take a look at that and say, okay, I okay that, and then it goes to an authorization for an asset acquisition. That piece today is in process to not even talk to the IT department. The IT department doesn't even have to know about it until the actual authorization takes place. The person who's making the request can see that their supervisor has or hasn't signed it, or the acquisition has or hasn't been approved, or that it has or has not been transferred to IT. And from the soup to the nuts, at the time they actually get it in their doorstep, they can see where that is in process and not have to email. Well, by the way, which is probably the biggest goal that I have for the next 2 years, is to reduce email by 50%.
Vanessa, what about you? Any internal technology that you've used that have streamlined the process of just doing business?
Mainly our ERP system, Profit 21. We continue to refine it and implement and try to incorporate better analytics to give to all departments. There's really nothing else, I think, that's more centralized than your ERP system. Everybody touches it in your company. So it's important to continue to refine it and improve upon it.
Okay, well, it's 9:58, and we said we were going to take our last 15 minutes to take questions from you guys, and I hope that you have at least jotted down some notes or have questions. So, show of hands, who has a question for the technology panel about anything that's going on? Go ahead.
What are you guys doing in terms of security for fraud prevention and people getting in your systems and things like that?
We've implemented a very strong firewall, multiple level. That's the main thing that you have to be concerned with. Make sure your server system, and then also at the PC level, ensuring that you have internet filtering, content filtering, and anti-spam, and all of that implemented on your PCs as well as your servers.
Les, what about you?
We do the same things. We're also we're engaged with an organization to do a security audit, and we think we'll be doing this every 2 to 3 years. We did that 4 years ago, and there were 3 or 4 things that popped up. Obviously, we can't wait for 4 years in today's world. Everybody is an attractive target, it appears, and if for nothing else, to use our resources in order to attack people who are more, perhaps have deeper pockets than we do, or better intelligence. So yes, we see it as a practice that we need to make sure that we do on a regular basis from an external, and then internally to make sure that we have all the things that Vanessa said.
David?
More of the same. The traditional, firewall, antivirus, content filtering, web content filtering, and blocking who can get to what websites. It's astonishing to me the breadth of websites that people will try to get to from work. And it's equally astonishing to me to the number of the different kinds of excuses you'll get when you call them about it. That wasn't me. I know my computer tried to go there 15 times at lunch, but it really wasn't me. But then looking at it from a data loss prevention, which is another side, there's really kind of 2 big pieces of information that we as distributors probably need to be aware of. One is the thing that everybody has to address, and that's personnel information and managing that. Another is credit card information. We process north of $1 million, $1.5 million worth of credit cards every month. Actually, it's more than that now, think about it. But, so the concept of PCI compliance and managing, where's that data? We are completely encrypted, and we manage that through a PCI compliant third-party system That is one of the things that we put in the cloud because it's just more secure for us than it is for anything that we could do in-house.
So to follow up on that, because that's a really good question. You know, hackers didn't hack into the Home Depot website because they wanted to know when the next sale was, or they wanted one credit card number of somebody who spent a lot of money. They wanted 56 million credit card numbers. What are you doing so that your customers who do pay online or have credit card numbers in your system, what are you doing to reassure them that they are safe? Because there's certainly companies out there now that I don't want to give my credit card to because I know what the past history is. But what are you doing to make your customers feel safe, saying, hey, you know what, if you want to order something online using the technology that we put in place, you can and you're safe because what?
Yeah, the only part, I mean, just for credit cards in specific, the only place in our system that credit card information is not encrypted is from the little wedge scanner to the USB port in the back of the PC. That 5-foot cable is not encrypted. And even that's going to be encrypted later this year because we're moving to a different platform. But from there, it becomes encrypted. It immediately goes outside of the company, and from then forth, we just manage the token for that through this third-party PCI solution. Mm-hmm. And so we don't have credit card information in our systems, period.
And so do you pass that on to your customers so that they feel comfortable using an online system to pay?
Yes.
Les?
Same as David, and it's a great idea to market that more and more. When we made the change we did, but I think in today's environment, it'd be a good opportunity for another marketing message.
And Vanessa, what about you? Are you doing that also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing you'll find, we're all being kind of hesitant. When you talk to IT, for those of you who are not IT, when you talk to an IT guy about security, they're usually fairly reluctant to talk about it because, frankly, as soon as they draw it to anybody's attention, they figure, well, now that somebody's going out and try and test it for us, and so we just don't want to talk about it.